What's going on? Excuse me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another GG Sports Podcast Monday Night Live Stream. As you can see, we are joined by some guests tonight. We got Naptime Sports Talk Podcast with us tonight. Zack and Riley. Fellas, how's it going this evening, wherever you guys are at?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing good. And this is some fellow Duluthians, northern Minnesota people that we don't really see a lot in this space. Surprisingly, I thought we'd see a lot more Duluth people. We got one bar in Lepicus up here in Two Harbors, but outside of that, there wasn't really a ton. Most coming out of Minneapolis, but we got some more northern Minnesota people in the building. But let's do some shout outs here. We get Nick Riley. Is that Nick? Is it Riley? We got two Rileys in here. What's going on, Nick? Drake May, bet money on it with anyone willing to. Hey, I'll take it. I'm still not convinced that we're going to make that happen. I don't know. Trading up to 3 seems like it's going to be rough, but we're going to go into all that today. What's going on, Two Toned? Hey, our guy Gary in the building. What's up, Gary? Sub Skull mates. Hey, Skull Shred. What's going on, Joey? Who else we got? Paul H. Hey, man. Paul, it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
I seen you on Twitter here and there, but hey, thanks for popping in, dude. You were our first card winner. Speaking of that, another show, another card giveaway, the Ivan Pace Jr. out of 400 rookie Prism. Get the hashtag Skulls in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. You have to go to win this card tonight. You got to go subscribe to Naptime Sports Talks. Let me go grab their link here. Oh, this is our rule here. This is going to be the rule. Let's see. Should have had this part already.
Probably would have been a good
idea,
yeah.
But I got it. We good. Almost good. All right. Here we go. All right. Hey, what's up, Skull Mafia? Who else did I miss in here? Dan, welcome in, Dan. Hey, you guys got to go over to Naptime Sports Talk and go subscribe if you want to win this card. And don't forget, we got the draft party on the, what is it, the 27th, right? April 27th. Draft party, 25th, Thursday. You know when it is. I don't need to tell you guys when the draft is. We'll have, I got an Ivan Pace Jr. out of 10 autograph card. I got another Ivan Pace Jr. autograph card coming, and I got a Jordan Addison rookie PSA 10 coming. And we'll be giving away all those cards on that show. So I know everybody in here is going to be here for that. But anyways, after all that kind of stuff, let's go back to Riley and Zack here. And Riley is a Vikings fan. Zack is a Raiders fan. Yep. And they do a podcast together. But we want to know how you guys got into your teams. Riley, we'll start with you. I mean, you know, you're from Minnesota, so it's probably pretty obvious, but I'll let you get into that. And then, Zack, I think things will get a little bit more interesting how you became a Raiders fan.
Yeah, so for myself, my parents grew up, you know, they're huge Vikings fans themselves. So ever since I was a kid, we just jumped right into Skull Nation and took off from there. So I remember going down to the Vikings training camps when I was a kid and just watching the old players like Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper in those early 2000s, just continuing my love for them then. So, yeah, love the Vikes.
Let's go. How about you, Zack? How did you become a Raiders fan here?
Yeah, and for me, it's a little different. It's actually kind of funny. So Randy Moss is the reason why I'm a Raiders fan, as crazy as that is. When I was born in 91, so growing up, my first time remembering a football player was Randy Moss in that 98 season. And I wasn't a fan of a team at the time. It was more of I was a fan of the players.
Yeah.
So I remember every Sunday, I had to just tune in and just see what Randy Moss was doing. And all the way until 2005, when you guys traded Randy Moss to us, that's when I started following the Raiders a little bit. Obviously, you know, playing like Madden a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was always the Raiders throwing deep balls to Randy Moss. And then I started to learn a little bit more of the Raider tradition and the strong, rich history that they have. And ever since then, I haven't missed a Raider game since 2007. So it's pretty deep. I got a 10-year-old dog that's named Raider. I got a Raider sleeve. Dude, I'm full in, man.
Are you so when it comes to other sports, are you Minnesota? Are you from Duluth? Are you from that area?
Yeah, so I'm from Duluth. I went to Denfeld.
Yeah, okay. All of us Denfeld. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Honors.
Yeah, besides Casey's, let's go.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of weird. Another team that I really really love is the San Diego Padres, and the reason why I'm a Padres fan is my grandparents have a spot out there in Palm Springs, California, and we would go to Petco Park and go see games out there. So I've been following those guys pretty close, and it's I don't want to get too much into baseball, but it's been kind of nice that they've been willing to spend some money the last handful of. So
yeah, what's that like? Owners that want to spend money on their baseball teams,
dude. I know
nice.
I feel for you guys. I really do, because I mean I feel like if you guys would just spend a little bit of money on pitching, I feel like you guys would be right there. You guys are kind of a big division in baseball, and I feel like if the Twins are willing to spend just a little bit of money, I feel like you guys could be right there.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you think. One thing
we're okay with one playoff series win, and we're calling it a year.
Yeah, I know, and then lose our pitching. Yeah. One thing I want to say, because we were talking about Denfeld, and I did want, since we got all this Denfeld guys on here, what the heck, CJ Ham going into his 8th season. I know we all went to high school with CJ Ham. We played football with CJ Ham. Riley played football with CJ Ham for a very long time.
Yep.
I mean, man, that guy, what he's done is incredible. And obviously, I mean, on here, definitely, we rep CJ Ham on this show for sure. But what an incredible journey that guy has taken, and got himself. He was in the Pro Bowl last year, right? Yep, got himself another Pro Bowl, 2 Pro Bowls. Man,
it's unbelievable. I mean, just think of the stories he's going to be able to tell, his kids and stuff when he's older. To think that he came from Denfeld, and what's cool is he goes back and he has that summer camp there every year.
Yep.
So he definitely still reps, the 2-8, and I love, especially with these different coaches that the Vikings have had, the fact that he's staying on the team, the fact that he's still their captain, just goes to show what kind of player and person he is.
Right.
Yeah, even better person than he is a player too. And I grew up with CJ, played with him, met him in elementary school, played with him through. I didn't play with him on the same team that I was on West Duluth, and he was on the Green Machine in West End there. But in high school, we played together at Denfeld. So, I had the pleasure of tackling him in practice, and that was always fun. That's for sure.
Oh, I know. Actually, I've talked about that too. My one memory when I'm playing. Definitely backup for I was Morgan Park, so we were all 3 different 8th grade, and he kind of just ran me over and I trip tackled him, and hey, that's good enough for me for the rest of my football career.
Yeah, exactly. You always had a couple bruises on your arm after tackling CJ, that's for sure.
Right. And that's one thing you said, great. That's the main thing. Like, regardless of his success at what he's done on the football field, that could not happen to a better person and someone that was his fault. That's what's so cool of watching him, is it was like, this is the exact type of person that should find success, and you could see he was working towards it, and then he went out and did it, which was really motivating for, I'm sure, a lot of people, including myself, that he was around in the Duluth area. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to tap into that since we got some more Denfeld Duluth people on here for sure. Anyways, let's get into some other stuff here, because I know both of our teams need quarterbacks going into this draft here. I guess let's just start. Who are you guys liking right now? If you were gonna, let's go to both of you, and let's say, let's go top 5. Let's go top 5.
Yeah. For me, the top guy is Caleb Williams out of USC. Just think he has the best arm talent in this draft, and just how he can just kind of make something out of nothing. Really, you see that in his games. And then my second guy is actually kind of changed during this process, but that's Jaden Daniels. And I just like his athleticism. He also has a really good, accurate arm down the field too. So, one thing that kind of concerns me is maybe his lean frame a little bit, but he could probably put on a little more weight here as he gets drafted. The number 3, and the guy I want the Vikes to go up and get, is Drake May. So I think he's just a perfect prototypical quarterback. And man, I would be just ecstatic if we went up and got him. So, I'm kind of thinking that right now, maybe if I had to guess, I'd probably say we're probably leaning more JJ McCarthy, because I don't know if we're going to get the 3. What are the Patriots going to do? There's a lot of kind of hot rumors out there that they might be more interested in McCarthy than they are May. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But it's definitely that kind of smoke season type or time of the year.
Right.
And then number 4, I have Zack and I are really high on, is Michael Penix Jr. So just watched him over the past 2 years, just absolutely. Just everything he did just was very impressive to me. So, and then number 5, JJ McCarthy would be number 5 guy. And I'm going off that just because I think he could kind of become more consistent. Maybe that was kind of because he was in a run-heavy offense, didn't get the chance to kind of throw or show off his arm. But, any of those guys that I named, besides probably Caleb Williams, because he's not the realistic option to get, I would be really happy with. So.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well, and that's one thing. I before going to Zach here, I was gonna see. So are you? And I'll let Zach can answer this too. As far as Penix go, because I mean, for me, obviously, I think the arm talent is. I think he potentially has an elite arm going into the NFL, especially his deep ball is just a sniper. But are you concerned about it's just his injury history? Obviously, all medical check or all medical stuff came back, checked out after the combine. And then that was another one for me is I do want a quarterback that is mobile. It did help me a lot seeing Penix run a 4.46 or 4.45, 4.446, whatever anyone wants to believe, but it was sub 4.46 for sure. No, sub 4.6 for sure, which was huge for me to know, like, okay, he's got the athleticism. He just doesn't use it a lot or whatever. So is that a concern for you at all if you were to sit there and go grab him at 11?
Just because of the last 2 years, he has that, he's cleared right now. It's something that in the process, Zach would hear me out on this too, because that was one of my main concerns. But when he was cleared, that kind of had that relief for me. So I definitely think he has that athleticism. You can see him move around in the pocket pretty well. I think he's just comfortable throwing in the pocket. He likes to kind of just sit there and, if you give him a good pocket, he steps up into a clear and he can, like you said, he's one of the best deep ball throwers in this, in the draft class. And he kind of showed that over the past 2 seasons at Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, no, I was just going to rattle off my 5 real quick. My number 1 is Caleb Williams. I think he's the clear cut. I've said this before. I think he's the best quarterback prospect that I've ever seen. And I've been watching college football for a long time now. I didn't think that anyone was ever going to pass up Andrew Luck. And I think Caleb Williams has done that. If you just look at Caleb Williams inside the pocket, I mean, I think he could be a top 10 quarterback in the league. I think his mechanics are there. It almost looks like he has eyes on the side of his head, in the back of his head, like he can avoid pressure, move inside the pocket really well. And then you add, all the ability that he has outside of the pocket. I mean, it's very Patrick Mahomes-esque. And I mean, the Bears are going to get an absolute superstar there in Caleb Williams. Moving on to my 2 is Jaden Daniels. I just, looking at him last year, and even if you go back to his Arizona State tape, I mean, like when he played, just say, for instance, when he played Oregon and he played against Justin Herbert, he went out there and played really well and actually upset number 6 Oregon as a freshman. So, his tape has been there. Last year, he went crazy. I mean, if you just watch that Florida game, I mean, the stats that he put up, absolutely insane. I think he's behind Caleb Williams and Michael Penix too. He's probably the most polished passer in this draft. And then you add that, that 4.3 speed that he has. I mean, absolute difference maker. He's going to be one heck of a pro. And then my number 3, this is where things get interesting because I actually have Michael Penix Jr. as my number 3 quarterback in this draft. Yeah, I'm a lot higher on him than most people. I mean, like Riley said, and you guys talked about his deep ball accuracy. I feel like, his touch and accuracy outside the numbers is fantastic. He's willing to give his receivers, one-on-one shots all the time. You look at Roma Dunze and McMillan and Polk, all those guys got those one-on-one shots. So say if you went to a team like the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, you guys are stacked at receiver and stacked at weapons. Justin Jefferson one-on-one, Addison one-on-one, he's going to give those guys, those opportunities to make plays. And then I think the 3 big knocks on Penix is number 1, his injury concern. Riley talked about it. To me, I'm not concerned about it. He's played those last 2 seasons, looks super healthy, especially with his play style. He's not much of a scrambler. He has that ability, but I think at the next level, he's going to be a pocket quarterback. And then he went out there and he jumped, 36 inches in the vert and ran that 4.5 or whatever he ran. I mean, if you got a bum leg, you're not going to be putting up those kind of numbers. So I'm not too worried about his injury. History, he did have that shoulder too, but as you can tell, I mean, he slings it with the best of them. So I'm not too worried about the shoulder either. Number 2 is his age. A lot of people talk about his age. He's going to be 24.
Right.
And, some people are worried about that. But for me, when it comes to a quarterback, I'm not really too worried about age. I mean, you can still get, a decade plus out of him with ease if he pans out. So, age really isn't too big of a concern. Now, if he was like a Brandon Whedon's age, if he was 28 as a rookie, that's a different story. I mean, that's just cool. And then, yeah, 28, taking a guy in the first round quarterback at 28.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's hilarious. At the Browns.
Damn Browns.
Yeah, of course, of all teams, and then they pay everything for Deshaun Watson, and that's not working out either.
No, that's another team that just can't find that franchise quarterback, man. They've been looking forever.
Right.
And then number 3, a lot of people, talk about, when the pocket collapses, his accuracy when the pocket collapses. And I definitely get that to an extent. You go down and watch his games and break down his film a little bit. You definitely see that. Mm-hmm. And a big stat that a lot of people get caught up on is, his completion percentage after or when he's pressured. When he's not pressured, it's like 70-something%, but then it drops to low 50s when he is pressured. So a lot of people are concerned about that. But if you go back and watch the film, I mean, a lot of the time he's throwing out of sacks. He's throwing the ball at the feet of the receivers. He's throwing the ball out of bounds, with the receiver in the area. So I think that's a big reason why that, completion percentage number does drop, is because he is throwing out of sacks. I mean, his last 2 years at Washington, he's played 28 games and he's only been sacked 16 times. So I think that's a huge stat. I think that's a super impressive stat. Yeah. And at the next level, he's not going to be taking those negative plays, which I really like. So he's definitely my number 3. And I think as of right now, I think out of Drake May and JJ McCarthy, I think right now today, Michael Penix is a better quarterback than both those guys.
Yeah.
I think Drake May and JJ McCarthy are a little more, projects. So that's why I have him at 3. Now, my number 4 quarterback is Drake May. I think he's a fantastic prospect. I really do. And in 3 to 5 years from now, can he be better than Michael Penix? Absolutely, because he has all the tools to be better than Michael Penix. I just think his footwork, and these are things that, if he went to the Vikings, I wouldn't really worry about, because you got Josh McCown, a quarterback coach that's been hyped up for a while now. And I think he would definitely, he's worked with him in the past. So something that he would, pan out. But I think his footwork needs some work. Mm-hmm. His ability to read blitzes at the line of scrimmage needs work. And in my opinion, not many people agree with this. I think he has a longer release. So there's a lot of wasted effort there in his release. And so that's why I have him at 4 and Penix at 3. Just a little more of a project. And then a lot of people are probably not going to like this, but JJ McCarthy, I've been really harsh on him since, his days at Michigan, watching him play. And I just don't see how he's a first-round quarterback. I don't, which is, it's absolutely crazy to say, because most people don't agree with that. But just going back and watching Michigan games, he's never winning you the game. And that's the thing that concerns me. Like, the reason why Washington was in the national championship was because of Michael Penix. Like, if JJ McCarthy isn't on that Michigan team and they start, I think their backup quarterback was like Jake Tuitt or something. If he's their quarterback, I still think Michigan wins that national championship. I really do. They had Blake Corum, ran, 50 touchdowns the last 2 seasons. Their defense was historic this year. I saw a stat where they're the first team since 1903 where they held all their opponents under 25 points per game. And the last team to do that was the Minnesota Gophers in 1903. So that's kind of a cool little stat. But, but yeah, Michigan's defense was just so elite that I still think that, even without JJ McCarthy, they probably still won that national championship. I just think JJ McCarthy's the mystery man in this entire draft. He has the traits, I do like a lot of his stuff that he has, but you really have to go into these games. You really have to break him down to see that, he doesn't flash throughout the entire game. And we'll see what happens. I definitely wouldn't be willing to trade, 3 first-round picks for a guy like JJ McCarthy. That's just me talking on the Raiders front. I think that's a little steep. But, if you could get a guy like JJ McCarthy at pick 11 or pick 13, and what's nice about both our teams is, we got Gardner Minshew, which is our little insurance policy, and you guys got Sam Darnold. So if you can get a guy like JJ McCarthy and have him sit a little bit, that's best case scenario. So those are my top 5 quarterbacks. But yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Michael Penix Jr.
I like that. Yeah, you definitely that Michael Penix is your guy.
I love Michael Penix. man.
No, I appreciate that. That was good. Hey, that was some good takes right there if I've ever heard them, man.
Thanks.
What was I gonna say? One question actually, and I want to see where Casey is at with all his quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
But so you're pretty much out on Aiden O'Connell then. Like you're just like, it was worth a try, but I don't think he's gonna be that guy moving forward.
See, and just to hit on him real quick, see, that's the thing with the Raiders at 13. In my opinion, I don't want to see them trade up. I don't think, Caleb Williams is going 1 for sure. I still think Jaden Daniels goes 2. Now, if somehow Jaden Daniels falls to 3 and say Drake May goes 2, then I would like to trade up because, Jaden Daniels has the ties to our head coach, Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce was actually the guy that recruited him out of high school to go to Arizona State. In his Heisman speech, he shouted out Antonio Pierce. And actually, it's kind of funny. Jaden Daniels was actually in our locker room, our Week 17 win against the Denver Broncos, celebrating with the Raiders. So there's a strong connection there. I think if he falls to 3 or 4, I think the Raiders will jump up and make that move. But for any other quarterback, I want them to stay put because they do have Minshew. And I like AOC. I really do. You look at, the last couple games of the season for AOC, I thought he played really well. He finished the season with 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was 5-5 as a starting quarterback, and he was a 4th-round pick, and he had 2 offensive coordinators because Josh McDaniels got fired. So I mean, he definitely had some adversity his rookie year, and he beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. He put 63 points on the Chargers, and at the last game of the year, he beat the Denver Broncos. So he's already beaten every team in our division. So I do like AOC. I wouldn't trade up too much unless it's Jaden Daniels. I really love Jaden Daniels, but I'm definitely still a believer for sure in Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. Okay. So it'd be interesting to see what the Raiders think about that situation and if they ultimately will decide to pick a quarterback in the first. I mean, if Penix is there, I don't know. We'll get into that. We're going to do a mock draft here soon, everybody. I know everyone in the chat is going to want to see a mock draft that we're going to run, and we're going to run it as the Vikings and the Raiders so we can kind of see what that might look like because the reality is, for the Vikings, the Raiders are right behind them. The Broncos are right behind them. And if all like the JJ McCarthy things smoke or whatever, and they fall down to like past the Giants, who knows what's going to happen after that, Hey, what's up, Alyssa? We got Alyssa in the building. What's up, Alyssa? Another northern Minnesota person in the building. Let's go. Hey, that's at least 4 in here right now. Actually, Joey, our guy Joey up here, I don't know where he's at. I haven't heard from him in a minute, but he's from the range area as well. So we get those northern Minnesota people. Let's go.
Dan Clement too. I saw him pop up. He's a West
and
kid.
Dan. That's right.
Big D. What's going on?
Let's go. I had his let me go find him up here. There he is. I was a manager for Denfeld football. So all Denfeld football people, CJ Ham, let's go. We'll say it again.
I'm going to say I'm going to put my little pat on the back here. I didn't play with him, but the #1 recruit in the state of Minnesota, going to the Gophers, came from Esco. So I got to
Boy Parish.
I'll take that little bit of pride for my hometown.
Yep.
For sure.
And well, Alyssa is also Esco girl, and another one is Mike Zimmer's girlfriend when he was our coach. He was from Esco. So hey, there's some heat coming out of Esco. I ain't gonna lie. So back to the top 5 quarter. Where are you at right now, Casey? Top 5.
It hasn't changed. It's still Caleb Williams, Drake
kind
May,
of are the
Jaden Daniels.
you're Drake May.
Who did I? That's 3. Okay. Then McCarthy and Penix, but the gap between McCarthy and Penix is closed a lot more than it was before.
Yeah,
I was really high on Penix until the national championship game, but then I kind of followed like the crowd with kind of falling away from him a little bit. But when you watch him, the arm talent's undeniable. The leadership ability is undeniable. So and I think when he gets to the league, I think he could use his athleticism more than he showed in college.
He doesn't take a lot of sacks either, which is something I really like. Yep. He gets the ball out.
For sure. And he can move. Like because I watch like every throw from every game. Like he can move. I noticed he's not like he wasn't one of those guys that would make crazy moves back there and extend plays and throw the big touchdown downfield. It was mainly avoid a sack, keep your eyes downfield. If it's not there, just throw the ball away. So he was he wasn't gonna like make big plays, but he was avoiding negative plays by using his athletic ability. So it's there. It is there. He just needs to trust him more, I think.
Like Zach said, 36-inch vert, 4.46 between a 4.46 and like a 4.54, whatever it was. I mean, it is there. I think the one other concerning thing with him is just when when he does get pressured, sometimes he overthrows the ball a lot.
But also, but you bet better overthrow than underthrow.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I'll take it, but I'm just like, obviously you have arguably the best offensive line in college. So it's like, are you going to get that in the NFL? No, it'll be interesting. See, I don't know if we've got a fair look at what he's like dealing with a lot of pressure, but I still think he deserves to be a first round pick for sure. Definitely. I'm not a Bo Nix guy, so
yeah.
If
we're not Bo Nix fans either.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as we don't go that direction.
Yeah.
One thing before moving on here, again, everybody giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card out of 400. Get the hashtag Skulls in the comments, like the video, and go subscribe to Naptime Sports Talk. Yes.
There you
go. Naptime Sports Talk. There we go. Everybody get it in there.
I'm all full, we know.
You're good. Hey, you got to be subscribed to them to win tonight. That's the rule. And then I got a couple more of these Ivan Pace Jr. cards, and then I have to switch it up. But like I already said, I have a bunch of good ones coming for the draft party that all of y'all have to be at for sure.
Just real quick before you move on.
Yeah.
So say that national championship game didn't happen, and that Michael Penix's season ended with that Texas game.
Oof. Yeah.
Things would be different. Probably. I would say, honestly,
say top 15 for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say top 5.
The interesting thing about that is I think his 40 time helped him more than if that was how that worked out. Because right now, like, if he would have won that game, I don't think anybody would have been talking about him being like a second round pick or even a late first round pick, like he was talked about for most of the offseason. But ever since that 40 time, he's bumped up all the way to, like, people think you might have to grab him at 13 or 12 or even 11. But I do think regardless, I feel like he'd probably have been sitting in that range, mostly because of just because of the injury history. And then also his age. I ultimately think there's just enough for him not to go too far up against these guys who are, a bit younger. And
right. Well, like I think that if that national championship game doesn't happen and you take him at 11, people are like, okay, that's cool, right? But now after that, it's the fact that people are just like, ugh, that feels high. So I think that's probably the difference.
That's very fair.
Mm-hmm. And that defense was just so darn good. Like, not to look too far ahead, but that Drew Aller from Penn State, he's probably going to be a top 10, top 15 pick in next year's draft. And when he played Michigan this year, he completed 44% of his passes and only, threw for, I think, 70 or 80 yards. So, I mean, that defense was just so crazy. But, Penix definitely with that pressure, that was not a good game at all. But then if you look at McCarthy, JJ McCarthy completed 10 passes and 140 yards in that national championship game. So it's just, for sure.
That's what's tough about JJ's. There is that big question mark. And like you said, I mean, the only game that really stood out, I guess, was the Alabama game where they were behind and he kind of did help them. The thing with him is, like, you for sure know you probably know for sure he's not a loser. Like, obviously he hasn't done anything to lose games for sure. Maybe he hasn't helped as much as people want. Obviously he also won in high school and all these other things. So there is that big thing where it's like, if he ends up being a winner, I mean, it's huge in that. Obviously that's what you got to be a winner, that winning mentality, if you're ever going to be great, regardless of whatever sport you play. It's almost like it's like the least you need to be a great NFL quarterback.
And I think it's funny how people said, like, his ceiling feels like Kirk Cousins, but, like, let's say his physical talent ceiling is Kirk Cousins. Isn't that what we wanted Kirk Cousins to be? The physical talent, then he's got the mindset to win, like, just to be a winner. Like, isn't that everything that people have wanted Kirk to be his whole career? Like, if he ends up being Kirk Cousins from a talent perspective with that winning mentality and mindset, I think that's exactly what you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all we want to do is win, right?
He probably scrambles around and makes a play instead of just, throwing it to T.J. Hawkinson. So, like, that's in my mind. Like, I thought about that the other day. I'm just like, man, if that's what people are comparing him to, if he ends up being Kirk Cousins,
that can be mobile
with the mindset and the mobility,
That's
probably
like the
win.
perfect quarterback.
Yeah.
It really is.
He seems like a great kid too. You know, hear his
Right.
interviews, very well spoken. Just you can tell he's pretty confident in himself, but he's not like, you know, just showboaty. He's kind of humble, I would say. But you know, the thing is with him too, he has the moments, he shows it, but it's just not the consistency is not there. So maybe if he comes to us, KOC can kind of unlock that consistency a little more. I think he shouldn't start right away. Personally, I don't think he's ready. And you have Sam Darnold, play him until JJ shows that he's ready. If that's the route we go. So
yeah, I think so too. And did you guys see the whole? I didn't really look into it, so I never like fact checked or anything, but someone had that like report of JJ. I think it was a scout saying that like he was talking to recruits coming in and telling them don't come here if you're going to go party and like talk to girls and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if it's a big deal if it's like their life is football. Obviously you got the guys like Johnny Manziel and those, I mean, if you want to go from like, you know, the big spread there, but he's a guy that you're like, this guy just wants to be really good at football, regardless. If I mean, I don't care if someone else wants to do other stuff in their free time, great. But I'd like to have my quarterback to have no life other than football. I mean, best case scenario. Hey, if
he definitely seems like he's that type of kid that's just focused on winning. Like you said, he's a winner. So yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
like, but I've changed my tune where I'm like, if that's your guy, do what it takes to go get him. If it's 3 first-round picks, fine. I'm coming back off that a little bit for McCarthy. Like, I'd give up 2 for McCarthy.
Yeah, that's the same thing here.
That's kind of my top dollar.
Yeah, for sure.
3 is too much for me. And that's like the biggest. And that's like the biggest thing. It's like, I know the guy Purple for the Win. I watch him all the time on, you know, in the morning and stuff. And his biggest thing is like, now that you have 2 first-round picks, like your biggest advantage is you can just say like, okay, we're just going to take a quarterback at 11. Then we don't need to. You know, like you can walk away from it. Be like, we have 2 first-round picks. We'll find a way to get a quarterback. We don't need to trade that much. We're fine. You know, and if the team really wants to trade back, I mean, there'll be options for them. But, you know, if we're the top bidders with 2 first-round picks this year, and that's what they're offering them, like at that point, you know, how do you not take it? But worst case scenario, they just say, fine, we'll take Penix at 11 and call it a day. That's fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, selfishly, I don't want them to trade a first-round pick next year because I want to go to the draft in Green Bay, and I want to see the Vikings pick because right now they don't have a first, a second,
or second.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a long day watching other teams pick there for a while. But.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's trading up to 3, I'm giving up 2 firsts in this year and 1 next year. Like,
I think you have to for sure.
Mm-hmm. But like the thing with the Patriots wanting 4 first-round picks, I'm out on that as well. Like, I'm not giving up. I'm not. Because that's setting a whole new standard for trading up if you give up 4 first-round picks. And
that's crazy. To the 3rd pick, no.
Yeah, I ain't about that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like. We already have the worst trade in NFL history, and I'm not gonna go do that again.
Right. And just speaking on that real quick too, like this year, this class is deep. So that 23 overall pick has more value mostly in other classes, just how deep it is. So. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that 23, you could package that maybe and not have to hopefully give up a first to move up, but we'll see what happens. I'm ready for this all to be, just done, and we see what they do. So
from end of February to early April, it's fun. But once you get to this point, it's just like, okay, we're just hearing the same rumors all over the place. Like, I'm done.
I can't believe anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's all smoke season 2 right now. So
it'll be interesting. Like the whole JJ McCarthy thing. I have a feeling that I don't think we're going to trade up to 4. Actually, you know what? We'll come back to that. So let's actually jump into the draft, and then we'll kind of give, after the mock draft, we'll kind of give all of our opinions, what we think is going to happen. And then we'll probably sign off after that. But let's jump into this mock draft here. Casey's going to bring it up. What are we feeling, boys? Are we feeling, should we do a 7? I mean, it gets a little dicey for me later in the rounds, but we can just do it anyways.
Let's let it roll. I love it.
Let's do it. May and Daniels are my 1 and 2 rankings. So Caleb, you had Caleb 3. It's so great to be a Vikings fan. It's great right now. Here, I'll bring myself down here. It's great right now, Alyssa, but if we don't pick the right quarterback, I don't know. Or if we end up in this draft without a quarterback or a first round without a quarterback, things are going to get dicey.
So what speed we want to start this bad boy off at? Do we want to start slow?
Yeah,
we can go slow. So you got the Raiders and the Vikings on here?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yes. I guess how we can do this is kind of go slow. If there's any time, I guess it's going to be, we're going to let Riley and Zack pretty much run this thing a little bit. But if either of you guys want to trade up at any sort of time, definitely let us know or whatever.
Okay.
Go pick until after this first round here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll go. Oh, there we go. So we got Caleb Williams,
Oh, man.
Drake May. Oh, anyone want to trade up to 3?
Zach?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Let's
Just
do
because-
it.
Yeah, just because Jaden Daniels is on the clock. I know the Raiders want him bad, so I'm gonna make that move.
Let's do it. And as a Viking fan, if this was a scenario and we had the option to go move up to 3, we would also for sure want to do this. But Zach got in here first, and that's what this game's all about.
Yeah. So what are you giving up?
Daniels over us.
I know who he's taking, though, so.
Yeah,
So-
right.
Now, realistically, it's gonna be 13. We're gonna have to give up next year's 1. God, you're probably gonna have to give up a 2.
Next year, this year?
Let's do next year. And then you're probably gonna have to throw what's it saying here? No, still not done.
You got 86% chance right now.
I mean,
You're
they would
offer this.
allow it. I would probably put in, because you can't. To move up. We'll keep it a little bit more realistic. I would
Real-
probably even maybe put in another second or third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like a second this year, a third or
Yeah,
a third
because
this year.
generally you would have
to.
to do 3 first. You would have to at least do 3
Yeah,
first, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To move up in front of us.
77, I would say.
Can you?
I mean, but at
put-
this point, you can offer the trade and just say you're giving up a first next year if you're probably going to get it here. But
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just say that. We'll
was
say
gonna
that.
say
You gave
that-
up a first.
Yeah, we would have to give up 2026 first too to get this done.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
we'll
we'll
offer it
we'll
up.
just say that
Look
I
at they-
put that
They
on
say
there.
no. Try it
Ooh.
again. They say yes. Okay.
Okay.
So Jaden Daniels, that was your guy.
Yep, we'll take Jaden Daniels at 3.
Man, you put a lot of
Raiders with
pressure on
Jaden
me here.
Daniels.
So then, are we thinking move up at all, or are we just going to let it roll to 11?
Oh, man.
I
I
think
feel like if this
it's just-
happened, someone would jump maybe in front of
Well,
like Atlanta's
Yeah,
pick.
but as of right now, the only team you're worried about is Denver.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Raiders already
That's why
did it.
would they jump up like to 9 or 8? So maybe let it roll and see what happens.
Let it roll to 11.
And
Hey,
hey,
pass-
what's that talk too? Like we could potentially get that.
It
8th
got
pick,
to get
maybe?
past the
Maybe?
Giants here. It's got to get past the Giants.
Ooh.
Oh, what the
Hey,
hell
JJ
is that?
McCarthy. Okay.
All right. This is a scenario where JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy goes to Giants, which I'll talk about it later, but I don't think is going to be what happens here.
Oh, I don't
So
either.
this is when things get
All right.
interesting here.
So
I know what he's doing.
man, this is tough. So I don't know if if the Broncos would sit there and take a quarterback. That's the only thing that's
Mhm.
crossing my mind right now. And
Or like with the Patriots
top
at
40,
13, they
yeah, the
traded
top
back.
40 went up. So
What up, Frozen?
quarterback, we got to take Michael Penix Jr. Like in this situation.
You're going Michael Penix?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not
let's
going
do
to
it.
play games. And the
Let's
real,
not give
to
up
be
that
honest,
23rd.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it.
Do
if
it.
we were in this scenario, obviously we could have traded back in this, but
Yeah.
in actual draft in front of the
I wanted to
Broncos-
trade up there to get JJ, but the Giants surprised me with that one.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on that they wouldn't do it. I think they would. I think they
Yeah.
would do it. Jamie
What,
and
the
I have a
Giants?
bet.
I
that-
don't
that
think
they
so.
would do it.
I
You
think
could
they
have a
need a
bet
wide
for that?
receiver like Roma Dunze or Neighbors if he's there.
That's what I think they need a wide receiver way
Yeah.
too
guys
bad.
are-
And they,
You guys are talking Giants?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think they go receiver too.
yeah, I think it's smoke. I think them wanting JJ smoke
Well,
All right.
and it could very much be to get another team to jump up ahead of them, so
so
that
they can get a
so that they have
receiver.
a choice at 2 receivers instead of just the one that falls. So,
Right.
all right. I know what I would do here.
Ooh, we
Yeah.
got
You guys
there's
are
some
taking-
good players that
You
dropped
guys
to
are
us
taking
here.
Newton.
Man, both those guys
Newton
at
and
D
Murphy.
tackle, they're like either one of them, but I would probably go Byron Murphy myself, but let's go Johnny Newton. I like
That's what no,
All-
we'll go. We can so with Johnny Newton and Byron Murphy, in my opinion, man, they are really, 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 really close.
Yeah.
I think Byron Murphy just blows up the line of scrimmage, and he's just
Yep.
a effort guy, and just that's what you really like to see. But Newton can do that, but he has all the technical moves and things like that. He's a little bit more
Yeah.
technical, so that is a tough decision. But
let's go Johnny Newton. Let's put him right there in the
Let's
middle
do
of
it.
the defense. No, I think that's
I like
the
it.
a huge need besides guard
yeah,
is D tackle there. So
I assume no more trading. We can just speed her up a little bit.
yeah, let's let
Peter?
it roll.
I mean, if the Vikings
Zach, you
come out
must
of the
be
first
pretty
round with
happy
a
right now, huh?
quarterback and a defensive tackle,
the Raiders
I'd be
get
thrilled.
Jaden. That would be so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, if this
That'd
is
be
how
tough,
it panned out, I mean that's a grand slam pick there. So let's take a look at offensive tackle here. All right, let's see. How about center?
Ooh.
Zach Frazier still on the board, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How about corner? Let's take a look at corner just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think our biggest need is right tackle and a corner here.
What about Newbin?
Yeah, Skyuma.
He's one of your top players, man.
You know, it's just not a huge need for us, really.
Yeah.
But
You could move him around that defense, though.
God, it's hard for me to pass on Tyler Newbin. I'm a massive Tyler Newbin fan. I'm probably higher on him than most. He's a top 20 player overall for me. So getting him at pick 44, pretty nice. But you know what? I'm gonna do the smart thing here. I'm gonna go Zack Frazier. I think he's gonna end up being a first round pick when it's all said and done. He can play center. He can play guard. We did sign Cody Whitehair today from the Chicago Bears, so he might be a plug and play guard. But we definitely need offensive line, so I'm gonna take Zack Frazier out of West Virginia.
Do it. Too evil. Stop, bro. Going after the Gophers now, too evil?
I love Tyler Newbin.
This is where we just sit back on day 2 and just see what happens, right?
So the funny thing is I actually have to do a Bleacher Report with, I don't know, the Packers, Lions fan, the other content creators for those teams for the second and third round. And I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to do anything. I'm just going to have to talk shit the whole time, even though, I don't know, it's now with the Bears.
Well, hey, maybe Kwesi would move back that 23rd pick there and try to pick up a day 2 pick.
Yeah.
He could move back in the back end of round 1. Could see that happening.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'll be optimistic. Something happens.
All right, let's take a look at running back here. Corum. Probably a little too early. Go. Braylon Allen's down there, huh?
Yeah.
They got him at 134.
134.
Oh, he's my running back 1 in this draft. Let's take a look at corner just real quick.
Oops, sorry, my dog's gonna be barking here.
You're good.
All right, yeah, no one that I'm too pumped about there. We're gonna do it realistic. Let's go running back. Go back to running back. I think that's a huge need for us now that
Jacobs is gone.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs has gone to Green Bay. We did sign your guys' boy Alexander Madison, but let's be honest, I don't even know if he's gonna make our squad. I'm not a huge fan of his game. I'm gonna take Braylon Allen. He's my running back 1, and having a nice 1-2 punch with him and Zamir White. I mean, I like that a lot. It's probably a little rich according to this, but I would take him there in the third.
Yep, for sure.
Nice. All right, where are we at now here? Who else? What other position are we feeling for the Vikes?
Man of guards in there, like a guy like Cooper Beebe.
Yeah, he should be there for us. Oh yeah, we like him. Casey really likes himself some Beebe.
Go got that size. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Lemur. Man, I would probably go back to the top and just see the whole best available.
Yeah. What's our next pick? 129.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm looking at all these guys, I'm probably thinking Cooper Beebe here.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go Cooper Beebe. Let's put him in that guard spot, and hopefully you can come in there and start.
That's a good pick. I think it's a day 1 plug-in starter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a look here at let's go offensive tackle.
Dylan.
Offensive tackle?
Yeah.
We'll get Sam Hartman to evil. We'll double down on quarterback and get your boy Sam Hartman.
Go to defensive tackle for me quick, please.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Sweat go in this, Casey?
He went top of the 4th, I think, or late 3rd. He went to the Bengals. I know that.
Do you guys think that he could possibly fall to the Vikings now in round 4 now?
No, I don't think so.
I still don't. I don't think his DWI or whatever was bad enough We need to get that dude a gas mask for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the old Laramie Tunsil. I like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you guys read his affidavit though? What he did right before he started driving?
No.
Oh, you'll have to go check it out after this. Maybe I'll
What
try
did-
to find it to you. Well, it sounded like he took a bunch of shots of tequila, like 4 shots of tequila, and got right behind the wheel.
Dang. Okay, that's pretty bad.
And he blew.
Keep me up.
He blew very high, like
Yeah.
just
Very,
out of the
very-
world.
He wants to come to Minnesota. He's trying his hardest to drop
I
in the
know.
fourth round.
He's I would be
Gosh,
so
we'll have a
pumped.
Love Boat Scandals part 2 with him.
Yeah. Right.
He could be the old Pat Williams. Bring the Williams wall back.
Oh
Dude,
man,
with-
that'd be
With
awesome.
Newton, that Newton Sweat combo. Come on.
Yes,
If that
I
happens-
forgot you guys took Newton. Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So here, I really like Christian Boyd. I think I'm going to take him
Ooh,
there at
that's-
deep tackle.
I like Christian Boyd as well.
Yeah. I think he's a big time sleeper in this draft, and getting him at round 4 is nice.
We going Sam Hartman next year, Fabio?
Get
Yeah,
get
Fabio, that's what it is. Too Evil likes must be a big fan of Fabio, man. Sam Hartman.
All right, let's
But
see.
no.
Just scroll down a little bit on this. Let's see who's all here on the best available. Ooh,
Skull TY, what up, dude?
I like that Kamara pick right there at edge defender from Colorado State. You know, if you go
Oh,
back
yeah.
and watch that Colorado game earlier in the year, he was like the best player on the field defensively. So
Mhm. Is that
I
your
think
role?
that would be let's go. Let's keep building those trenches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know any picks. I don't know if we settled with Penix at 11 because we missed out on some players. I forgot where you were at with Penix, but yeah, I was gonna say with who did we Kamara? I know our guy rap vocal Vike. Anybody who's in here who's not subscribed to him, which I know y'all already are, you should definitely go do that. But he came out with a Kamara video, and I think he said he thinks he should be a first rounder even. Like he's going last year, he was like the Ivan Pace guy going into the draft. Like he's like Ivan Pace is my guy or whatever, and then we ended up getting him undrafted. So he kind of called that. So Kamara is like his guy for this year.
Yeah, he ran a 4.57 too at the 40, so he's got that speed.
Dang, we'll
He's
take
good.
that.
He's got a quick
I like that.
10-yard split too. So
Steve.
And what did he have?
Steve
13 and a half
Jackson.
sacks last year, something like that. So the production's there too for Kamara.
Mhm.
yeah,
All right, let's take a look at corner.
We didn't miss out. We were screwed by a Raiders fan.
Sorry, dude.
if Drake May was there at 3, I would have traded up. But yeah,
Ooh. Let's go. Let's check out the linebackers.
Is this draft overall pretty weak linebacker wise? It feels like it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think there's like 2 guys. I think you got Edgerrin Cooper and then Wilson, and after that, I think it's a huge drop off.
Yeah,
God, I don't even go to receiver. Let's just check out receiver here.
a sleeper guy though for me is Cedric Gray out of North Carolina. Just his production in college was unreal. So
Ooh. Who is it? Or what position?
he's a linebacker, Cedric
Okay.
Gray. Yep,
Okay.
another one of those guys just sideline to sideline.
That's what we
I'm gonna
like.
go ahead and I'm gonna take Luke McCaffrey here. I think he'd be
Ooh, I was just gonna say his name, but I don't want to say it out loud.
yeah, I think he would fit in nicely now that Hunter Renfro's gone. So
This is like an NFL draft when
You
you're
know, for
doing
some
it with other
reason, I
people.
keep
Like
forgetting
a
the Raiders have
fantasy
Devontae
draft.
Adams. I don't know why. It completely just slips my mind. They still have Devontae Adams.
yep.
Oh yeah, I know. They need
All
to
right.
get him a quarterback.
We went quarterback, guard, D tackle, and
Edge.
edge. Yep.
It's pretty
Scroll.
good.
Let's see.
Joe Milton the third, best arm in the class. Well,
Ooh,
strength wise.
I see a guy Zack likes there a lot.
Who's up?
Yeah. Hopefully
James
he'll be-
Williams. He's gonna be playing linebacker. He's gonna be converting him to linebacker, and
Ooh.
he's got
he's got
all
some
that.
nice.
that
He's
makes
got
you
some
want-
nice traits. So, what's the wide receivers at right now? I just want to kind of peek at that.
Yeah, definitely need a wide receiver 3.
Taj Washington. He's definitely got that, play right in the slot for us too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't really like the other Washington's name on here.
Casey?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, haha.
What do you guys think of Theo Johnson, tight end? Hawkinson, how long do you think he's going to miss?
Man, he's got to miss the start of the season. I think.
Yeah.
See, what I always do is I wait till the 7th round and I just grab Brevin Spanford. Just
Oh, there you go. Yep. Another Minnesota
That's
guy.
what we literally do that every single time.
Let's go back to wide receiver. Let's go Taj Washington out of
Okay.
USC.
What's up, Terry? Welcome in. Welcome in. Again, everybody, we're giving away this. Oh, I guess
Ooh, now we're
I should
back.
uncover myself. Giving away the Ivan Pace Jr. rookie card out of 400. So get the hashtag skulls in the comments.
All right. Want to scroll down a little bit? Actually, go to halfback. I'm curious. I don't know if he went already, but I'm really high on this guy. We'll see. He probably already did.
What are you thinking?
Junior.
Yeah, I was going to be Jalen Wright. I was going to see if he got taken.
Mm-hmm.
What about DB at corner?
Dan, you got to do the hashtag skull.
Big D, come on, get with the program here, buddy.
We got a giveaway generator thing that takes up the words.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone that really jumps out at me at corner right now. How about you guys?
Not really, no.
No, this is. I mean, at this point in the draft, these
It's a
guys,
little
I'm like,
shaky.
I don't know.
Just throw a dart, at the board and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's go tight end there. That Dalen Holker at Colorado State. He's not too bad.
There's so many cornerbacks that go in the draft that it's just so many to look at.
Yep. Let's see.
Now
Now we're back on clock.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like this. If you keep going, go down. Jalen Harrell out of Michigan. It could be a really good developmental guy on edge.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Pull the trigger. Best pick ever. Let's go.
All right, we're finally back on the clock here.
we're
been a while.
We're bottom heavy team this year.
Yeah.
Well, besides our 2 first rounders, but
yeah.
Scroll down just a tad. God, this is where things get a little blurry for me. Everyone's name kind of looks the same here. Let's go to corner.
did we wait? Who's Holker?
Tight end.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you go with him?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, that was the best pick ever. Was Holker.
How big is Josh Wallace?
He is 6 foot 190.
Does it say his 40 time on there?
It doesn't. No,
I don't think it does. I wish.
Well, I think Raider Nation will be pretty disappointed that I haven't taken a corner yet. So we're just take the best one on the board. We'll give us Josh Wallace.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have to go and sign a corner at this point.
Yeah, we got Shaquille Griffin. Otherwise, I don't know. Got a lot of cornerback 2s, I feel like.
Yeah.
And cornerback 3s. Hopefully one of these young guys can step up this year for the Vikes.
Yeah. Man, I was really high on Booth Jr. when you drafted him.
Dude, I was so pumped with that pick.
I was pumped for you guys too. I really liked him a lot coming out of Clemson.
We'll see. I'm not out. There's a lot of people who are out on him, but I'm not out on him yet.
Yeah.
I think give him one more season. He played pretty solid. We didn't hear his name a lot, even though he's playing decent amount towards the end of the season. So we'll see. School, everybody. What up, GGA? What up, Zoe?
Let's take Dylan McMahon out of North Carolina State there. Keep beefing up that offensive line.
6'4", 300. Take that.
Yeah.
All right, we got a good stretch here. 3 picks in the next 4 for both teams.
All right, scroll down just a little bit. Let's get another linebacker in there. We're pretty thin at linebacker. We'll take Curtis Jacobs out of Penn State there. Scroll down just right there. Yeah.
It's another thing. It doesn't give us grades for both teams or when we have two people, I don't think, on here. Yeah.
All right, so we're in round 7 now.
Yep.
You know, special teams is a very important aspect of the game, too. Let's go over punter real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Is the Iowa boy there? Troy Taylor? Oh, my gosh, let's take him.
Is he
He's
good?
one of those. Yeah, he's one of Australia. He's got a leg, dude.
Four?
go.
Look at that. He's huge.
6'4", 232.
Yeah, let's
Good.
get him.
It's like Pat McAfee. Go tackle some fools.
Then let's see what we got here. Want to maybe scroll down a little bit? Take Tua's brother. Oh, like, hey, would you think like maybe they would go kicker here? Like, I don't know.
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
You know, let's go back to kicker, and
we got so many 7th-round picks. Might as well.
Like Reichert out of Alabama is one of the best kickers all time in college football. I think he's like the highest scoring kicker ever. But hold on, because that Josh Carty out of Stanford's really good too. Like they're like 3. Yeah, look at them, 3 or 12 and 313 there.
Yeah.
5208.
I'm gonna go Reichert.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
It'll be interesting to see how the kid that we just picked up will do, but it's kind of just a wild card. So
right, yeah. Let's make a competition there in our special teams room.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I don't think did they give us a grade?
Oh, they do. For just the Vikings, I think.
Vikings B.
No, they got the Raiders. Yep.
Oh wow, we didn't notice that before. A C.
No, there's an F for
D- on the Penix pick.
Yeah.
A D-.
They're ranked on him at 46, so I can see why that would be.
PFF is a little off.
Yeah.
With a lot of their stuff.
Yeah. What do you guys think? How did it go?
Hey, I mean, I think I'm team. If we could, I'd trade up for JJ McCarthy if it didn't cost us more than two twos. No, 2 1s. But if there was a scenario, which is definitely possible, where all 4 quarterbacks are gone and we have no choice, you can't be mad with taking a chance at Penix and still getting a defensive interior guy like Newton, or Murphy was there too. If that happened, that'd be great. And then obviously, I think getting BB and Kamara, awesome, like great picks. Yeah,
the rest of the draft wouldn't matter to me after that. If we got covered that many positions of need, I'm just like, whatever else you get is just going to be bonus.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Like I said, I would have traded up and took JJ, and then that surprise pick with the Giants sniped me. So, damn computer.
Yeah, I know. I know we've had that happen. I got us all turn around here. All right, we're going. So actually, we'll kind of go around giving what we ultimately predict our team to do at our spot here. But first, everybody in here, we're about to give this card away. We'll do it right after. Get your hashtag skulls in the comments. Like the video if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And this time on this show, if you want to win, you got to go subscribe to Naptime Sports Talk.
Naptime Sports Talk podcast.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Naptime Sports Podcast. Yeah. That's the spot that gets me.
It's Naptime. It's Naptime too, because we're both dads. So I have a 6-month-old daughter, and Zack has 3-year-old son, another one on the way. So usually the time we can talk is after bedtime. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I love that. Hey, congratulations to that, by the way.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Got the hashtag. So anyways, so let's see. Who do we want to start with, Casey? How do we want to do this?
Doesn't matter to me.
So let's do us first. And we'll do it quickly. Casey, what do you think?
You said what I think is
what do you ultimately think is going to happen with the first round pick? Situation.
Look, I want them to make a move. I want them to go. I want them to show us that they are going to get the guy they want. But the more I sit, the more I look at all this, I think what we just did there, Penix at 11 and defensive tackle at 23, I think that's the way it ends up rolling out.
Dang.
Because I do believe, like, there's a rumor out of ESPN that Kwesi is trying his hardest to keep 23. So I think unless it gets them into the top 3 for a guy they really want, because I don't know. It's to me, it just doesn't feel like they're willing to give up 3 first for JJ McCarthy. So I don't know. What I think is going to end up happening is they stick and pick at 11 and go defensive tackle at 23, and they end up with Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Dang.
I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be. I'd be at this point. Before I wouldn't. Honestly, I was definitely one of those people that are probably too high on the fact that he ran that 40 time, because that was like my biggest thing. Is ever since now I'm like, I'm done with statue quarterbacks type of thing, and I'm like, okay, I feel better that this guy has athleticism. He just didn't use it, because I do think in the NFL, you're gonna have to figure out how to use that.
Yeah.
So I do feel better about him now, but still. I would say what I think is going to happen is I do think there's a little smoke going with the Giants and JJ McCarthy. And I think JJ McCarthy in general, as far as Washington interested in him and the Patriots interested in him. And I think he makes it past the Giants. And I think we either trade up with, you know what, we'll say, I think the Titans really will like Joe Alt. So I think they're going to ultimately pick him. And I think we're going to go and get Kirk Cousins' new team and do a little trade swap with them. If we already don't get the trade swap because they owe us for tampering.
Right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that happens first and we don't have to trade up at all. But I think that's what happens is we want to trade up before the Bears if he makes it past the Giants, and we don't want to mess with that and them trade, with Broncos or the Raiders. So I ultimately think JJ McCarthy at number 8 trade with the Atlanta Falcons. That's my guess there.
I like it. Just jumping back to Penix real quick, I think the thing that scares people a lot is a lefty too. So he's just not, he's not a typical quarterback, because most quarterbacks are righties. I think that kind of throws people off a little bit. But
yeah.
I think the Vikings are going to make the move. If Drake May falls to 3, I think we're going to move up to 3 and get him.
Let's go.
If he gets taken by Washington at number 2, and then say, I don't know, I would think maybe we'd move up and maybe at 5 or somewhere in that range, move up to get JJ McCarthy. That's what I'm going to predict. So
let's go. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, what are you thinking? What's the Raiders going to do here?
So for the Raiders, I do think they stay put. I think they kind of just see how this quarterback, board plays out. If Michael Penix or maybe JJ McCarthy somehow falls there, I do think that they'll take a quarterback at 13. I'm starting to think that Michael Penix's floor is 13 at the Raiders. But it just, for some reason, if teams trade up and he's not there, offensive tackle is a huge need. Probably J.C. Latham's still going to be there. I could see him going offensive tackle. But if I had to guess, I think Michael Penix will be there at 13, and I think the Raiders will take Michael Penix at 13. And then for the Vikings, I think the same thing Riley said. I do think that they'll be aggressive. They have the ammo to go up there and get their franchise quarterback. That's really the only piece they're missing. Their offense is so talented. Go out, be aggressive, get your guy. I think their guy is Drake May. My guess is he will be there at 3. And the Patriots need a lot of help. They are not positioned right now at all to even taking a franchise quarterback, because their offensive line stinks. Their receivers stink. I mean, that team is really bad. They're going to be picking in the top 3 probably again next year. They can go out and get their quarterback, then. So give the Patriots 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year, with theirs included. Now, it's a quick way to rebuild your team. So I think the Patriots would be willing to trade back and make that move with the Vikings. So I'm going to say the Vikings trade up to 3 and take Drake May.
Dang. Hey, that's be crazy, man.
I would love it.
A couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks away, and we'll get to find out what happens. And every pick other than the Bears pick is going to be interesting. All right, everybody, we're going to give this card away. Last chance, #skulls in the comments. Got to be here to win. Y'all already know that. Got to be here to win. I'm going to go right now, actually. All right. Here I go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Who we got tonight? You got to be here to win. Who we got? And we've got boom. Richard, are you in here? I don't think Richard's won before. Oh, Richard's got to be in here.
Let's go. What's going on, Bart? What's going on, man?
Hey, let's go.
High school friend.
Let's go. Welcome in, Bart. Welcome in. We might be running this again anyways, because Richard, are you in here? I'll give him a minute. Oh, there he is. Hey, and there it goes to Richard. Let's go, Richard. Here, Richard, I'm going to put our email in here. Just send us a good address to send this card to, man, and we'll send this out right away. I don't know if you've won before. Have you? I don't know. Let's go. Let's go.
Got to get some new first-time winners in here.
Yeah.
Make everybody feel like they have a shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyways, less than a week and a half. See if we both come out of the draft with new quarterbacks in the first round.
I hope so.
Yep.
Same.
Fun. But anything else, you guys?
Yeah, just thank you for having us on. This was
just
a lot of fun. So hopefully we can get on in the future here. And yeah, you can just check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So
yeah. Thank you guys so much. You know, Riley put me on you guys. I've been going back and listening to some of your episodes, and it's a great listen. I really like what you guys are doing. And thanks so much for having us on. This was a blast.
Absolutely. And thanks everybody for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun. Jamie, I believe we will be back with Dave on Wednesday on the Skull Experience. So keep an eye out for that. And have a great rest of your evening, everybody.
Skull Vikes.